Hello there, and welcome back to Gadget Mad Lad. In this episode, we've got somebody donating something. Well, not donating, but asking for a repair. Basically, shout out to Elizabeth. We've got this Paw Patrol Leapfrog plug and play HDMI dongle thing. It requires, I think it's 5 volts. This is on the side there. Requires 5 volts DC, 1 amp. Sorry, 0.5 amps. So I think it's just a kid's toy basically. The HDMI, as you can clearly see, is not meant to look like that. It's seen better days. So my intention with this is to take the HDMI port off and replace it with a new HDMI port, but obviously that's not what the channel's about. We like to reuse old stuff, so I'm gonna take the HDMI port off a broken Amazon Fire Stick. I think this is stuck in like a boot loop mode or something, and I'm gonna switch it onto this. I think it's like technically a better component as well. So as you can see, the reason why I'm not actually straightening the HDMI port up is because if you, I don't know if you're going to see in there properly or not, but focus. If you can see all the actual gold pins inside the actual HDMI port itself on the bottom row, focus. They all seem to be fine, yeah. But as you tilt it up towards the top, if I can get it right on the right angle, you can see that they're all unaligned basically. So I'm assuming I got sent a picture of this to see if I could repair it, and show me the picture, you know, underneath. So I've seen like the pins already, and a few seem to have lifted. So I'm assuming that's where they've been pulled through. So basically, what we'll do, we'll get to a quick tear down now, and we'll go from there. So as you can see here, I was able to lift, well, they're already lifted, but all the pads that had buckled, or like disjointed, whatever you call it, they're basically able to lift them all up. There doesn't seem to be any torn traces from what I can see. But obviously, until it comes to reassembly, we're not going to be 100% sure with that one anyway. And on the other side, I've double checked to see if any of these were, you know, detached like the other side, and these all seem to be soldered into place. So I think we're good for that. Well, not good, obviously, because I need to desolder this now. So my plan is, I'm going to use the hot air. I should use the hot air, actually, I'd solder first. I am going to use the hot air, sod it. So I'm just going to use the hot air on this to get this one off, and then we'll go from there to the Amazon Fire Stick and blast this with hot air and hopefully get that up in one go, and then we can work from there. So cut to me speeding up past that. So that seemed to come off easy enough. No lifted pads or anything like that from what I can see. We're all good. And I've made mark as well, so I've got B for bottom and T for top, so I don't get it mixed up. Put it on the wrong way around. I don't think I can. I think there's only 9 pins on one side and 10 pins on the other side, so it won't match up either way if that was the case. So let's cut straight from that to me speeding past this, getting this hot off, and we'll get it back on. Right, well that seems to have come off really nicely. Focus, goddammit. As you can see, all the pins are all intact, no bends, no burns, lovely jubbly. Now the trick is, can I get this onto here? So my plan first is, what I'll do, I'm going to tidy the board up a little bit, so we're going to run over it with some solder wick, maybe apply some new leaded solder, we'll figure it out as we go, kind of thing. But I'll speed past all that anyway. And once we're done that and about to stick it on, I'll give you a bit more explanation of where we're going with it, and then we'll get it on and get it finished. So let's get there, speed up past the next bit and get it tidied. Right, so I've pre-tinned the pads with some leaded solder, and I've altered the the grippy bits for the ground. They have to be stretched out a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It's a little bit warped on that side, but I've pushed it over it, and they all seem to line up perfectly. Like, seriously, that is like I assumed a better version of this actual connector, if you get what I mean. So I've got it, basically it's pressure at the moment, that's just holding it together. So what I'm going to cut back to the overhead camera again, and I'm going to use the ground, I'll speed past it obviously, but I'm going to solder ground pads in, and I'm going one by one with the soldering iron on each of the pins and make sure each of them are connected. That should do the trick, and then we can get to checking it. So one more speed up bit, and then we get to testing. Right, I know for you that was sped up, but for me that was a little bit of a nightmare. A couple little tips I'll point out for anyone else trying to do a HDMI repair or similar thing to this. Pre-tin your pads and make sure that you don't have too much solder on your tip when you go back in, because you'll cause a load of bridges. And the heat out, make sure your soldering iron is brought to the correct temperature. Because if you're not heating enough, you're not going to basically make the solder flow enough. And use flux, obviously use flux. Always use flux when you're not too sure if the connection is going to be established or not. So I've gone crazy with the ground pads, as you can see. Originally the fault that it had was it broke because they weren't strong enough. So I figured as long as they weren't going to interfere with anything else, there would be no harm in sticking a bit of extra reinforcement on there. Obviously I've got flux in there. I'll wipe that up in a second. We're going to do the wobble test now, and we'll see if we've got any wobbly pins. So steady, 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 steady. That's good. That's a good sound to it. And the opposite side, solid, solid, solid. And if you have flux, seam solid, seam solid, seam solid, seam solid, seam solid, seam solid. Does that actually? Let's check it. That seems fine. I'll quickly scrape out a little bit of flux from between the things. I'll give it a little clean off camera with some. I'm not got any IPA, so nail varnish removal have to do for me. And then we'll get it. Oh, was that even on camera then? I hope it bleeding was. Well, they're all solid anyway. This, because it's small, I'm basically zoomed in, it's small, and this my bum looks gigantic. Oh my god, attacking a killer bums. Look at the size of that bugger. Nice sword then. Right, so this is like huge to you, but to me, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these dongles in real life, but they are small. So let's basically cut to the testing now, yeah? So I'll get it all cleaned up, get it all put back together again, and next thing you'll see is me on the computer screen. So as you can see here, I've got it connected to the computer, but the problem I'm having is it seems to be really intermittent. You can hear the sound, I don't know if you can hear that over my voice, but basically it's doing sound and it seems to be connecting and then disconnecting the picture. So we've actually got an image sometimes, but after double checking the pads on the actual the broken HDMI port that we took off, there seems to be 2 pads that have been lifted, so I'm assuming I'm going to have to go back and try and put a couple of jumper leads, so that's what we'll do now, try and fix it. Right, so unfortunately, I connected what you just saw then was that it connected to the HDMI dongle thing that I was saying, to the computer, and it's got audio partially and it's got a little bit of picture on it every now and again, but there's something intermittent with it. But what I noticed was the HDMI port that I took off there, if you look, on the 4th pin along, there's remnants of a trace that's pulled up, and at the very end too as well, 2 more traces that have been pulled up. So I figured we'll do another tear down, obviously. What I've done, I've pre-tinned some wire here, because I assumed I'd have to re-jumper these wires, so I've got some thin and enamel wire that I salvage off circuit boards that tear down. This kind of stuff. It's beautiful for this kind of job. Well, I'm going to run some jumper wires and stuff. We'll go for it anyway when we get to it. But this is going on a bit longer than I wanted it to. So let's get to the tear down. Right, so that's it torn down again. So like I said, I've got a couple of pieces of enamel wire here, ready to solder in place. I've got a millimeter here in continuity mode. The 2 pads that where I put the HDMI port, bugger, that would really help right about now. Well, I'll have to make do without it for the time being. Basically what I need to do is, it was the 2 top pads that had been ripped up, and it was the 4th one along that had been ripped up. So the 4th one along, I can't seem to see where that goes, but these 2 I can figure out that one goes to this pad here, little test point, and the other goes to this other little test point here. So basically one to that, one to that. So they should be easy enough to just put a little wire in and put a jumper in. So what we'll do, I'm going to do that now, which will speed past it. We'll cut to the close-up solder shot and we'll speed past it. And we'll see if that works. And if I have to sort, obviously it doesn't, I'll come back and I'll try and patch where that, I think that wire goes to. I think it's one of these fuse points there. You can see. Focus, god damn it, man. Right, if you look where my fingernail is, there's a couple of little rows of these little black things. Well, on the other side, there where the silver little legs are. I'll be soldering to that. You'll see whenever we get closer up anyway, but let's cut to that now anyway, and there you go. So I didn't bother recording the entire thing, but what I'll do, before I zoom out and start doing the other stuff, I'm going to try with these 2 pins there. As you can see, we've got this one on the right, nice bond, nice connection, and we've got this one on the left, nice bond, nice connection. I'm going to basically cut these and put them in place. I'm going to do that off camera again. I was trying to film it, but filming it and doing it, I can't describe how the size difference is like ridiculous in regards to what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. I can't even use the phone screen to be able to use, as a magnifier. I need some better equipment basically. So we'll cut to me once I've done the repair and I'll show you the close-up of that. All I can say is this is micro soldering. I'm starting to not like you very much, you bugger. Alright, so let's enhance. So as you can see the pins, I don't know if you can see the soldering, but let's zoom in. As you can see, with these gigantic tweezers, we have the left, so at the right, I look at them on my left and right, I'm not confused from all this micro soldering. So the nightmare that I was about doing bridges between the 2 pins was only can discard as a miracle from God. Anyway, so basically that runs down to there. which is where it was originally connected to. I was actually getting continuity through that, which is kind of weird considering the pad had been ripped up, but well, hey, what can you say? So, and the second one here, this runs all the way down to, 1 second, I need to bring it up a little bit, to this, I think it's a fuse or something, I'm not too sure, but basically the second leg of that is where that runs to. That was a nightmare to get connected, but again, got it done. Right, the only thing left that's been ripped up now is the, pull it down a little bit more. We've got, oh crap. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This pin here is the only one that had any sign of damage that I could see. Bear in mind, I received it already fully, so a pad could have ripped up and it might not have, you know, might have totally fell off or something, you know, in transit kind of thing. I'm not trying to justify it not working, but that's what we'll do now. We'll cut to me testing this out and see what the computer has to say about it. So, fingers crossed for it working. So this is it fully assembled and ready to test. So, cut to the computer testing. Do we get an image and sound this time or anything else? And from what I can see here, we have sound and we have video. So, I'm going to call this one a fix. So, yay! Congratulations, Elizabeth, you've got a working dongle. So we have a success. Hell yes, have it. Boom shakalaka. I like it. Yeah, man. Well, obviously I've got the controller to test it with, so I'm hoping that works, but as you can see, we get sound, we get HDMI out of it. The little jumper wires were a nightmare to do, but it was fun, I suppose. It was a learning curve. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.